Some abduction cases become famous because they're dramatic. This one became famous because of where it allegedly happened and who was said to witness it. Her public name is Linda Napolitano. In earlier books in UFO circles, she was known by the pseudonym Linda Cortelli. In late November 1989, Linda claimed that in the early hours of the morning, she was taken from her apartment in Manhattan, from a high floor, by non-human beings. Her account wasn't just the light in the room. She described a blue beam pulling her upward, and her body moving out through the window area and into a craft. And in the story, as it's been told for decades, the alleged craft moved toward the area around the East River Brooklyn Bridge, which is why the case is often nicknamed the Manhattan Transfer or Brooklyn Bridge Abduction. Before the theories, picture the human center, a person in a city apartment at night, claiming something impossible happened to her body and her life. Whether someone believes her literally or not, that kind of claim changes how people look at you. It brings attention, pressure, ridicule, believers, skeptics, and sometimes years of being defined by one night. The case rose to prominence through Budd Hopkins, a major figure in 1980s and 90s abduction research. Hopkins believed Linda's account and made it central to his work, eventually publishing it in detail in his 1990s book, often referred to as Witness. The part that made the story explode wasn't only the beam, it was the claim that there were multiple independent witnesses. Most famously, two men described as security bodyguards for a foreign dignitary, often framed in retellings as someone connected to the United Nations, who supposedly watched a woman lifted into the air toward a craft. In some versions, those bodyguards are presented as terrified, pleading with their principal that what they're seeing can't be happening, and then later trying to quietly report it. That claim of high-level witnesses is the weight that keeps this case in circulation. Here's the honest structure of the evidence. Linda's account is detailed and consistent with her own narrative over time. Hopkins reported that he collected testimony from numerous witnesses, but many were anonymous or pseudonymous in public reporting. The identity of the dignitary figure has never been publicly, conclusively confirmed in a way that satisfies everyone, and the case has remained intensely disputed even inside the UFO community. A major reason it stays disputed is that serious critics, including people once close to Hopkins, later argued he became too invested, that elements of the story were impossible to verify, and that Linda may have been influenced by the abduction subculture of the era. Skeptical writers have also pointed to the lack of hard corroboration for the most explosive claims, especially those involving VIP witnesses, and suggested more ordinary explanations ranging from misinterpretation to fabrication. Believers counter that the consistency, the reported witness pool, and the intensity of the accounts keep it from being easily dismissed. And in the middle sits the reality. This is the case with extraordinary claims and contested documentation. And because so much hinges on anonymous testimony, it remains a battlefield. So what do you do with a story like this? You don't pretend it's proven, and you don't pretend it's solved. You hold the facts that can be stated plainly. A woman reported a dramatic nighttime abduction from a Manhattan apartment in 1989. A leading abduction researcher publicly backed her and claimed multiple witnesses. Critics, including former allies, challenged the verification, methods, and reliability. And decades later, there is still no consensus. The Manhattan Transfer story endures because it sits in a rare place, not fully confirmable and not easily put to rest. And whatever someone believes about what happened that night, the human cost of carrying a story like this for years is real.